This is Toad Zoe, and I am going to be starting a makeup tutorial channel featuring different makeup looks. Also, eventually probably some celebrity looks, how to look like such and such. But today's look is going to be a natural sort of gold brown sort of look that you can wear to work, school, all-purpose sort of. Out to lunch with your friends during the day, then you can transform it into a night look with either making the eyeliner more smoky or the eyeshadow under your eyes or changing the lip color. But without further ado, let's get started. So first, what you want to do is get your hair out of your face. And for, you know, the ladies with blonde hair, I personally don't know the struggle of having blonde hair and getting foundation in your hair, but I heard it's not too great. So this is always a good thing to do. And you always want to start off with moisturizing your face. I like to use the Aveeno Active Naturals Positively Radiant Daily Moisturizer, SPF 15. So that's great. So put that all over your face. And I know some people like to tend to dab it on. I personally am usually not a person that likes to get up really early, so I tend to sort of rush through it. So I just put it all over my face, just like this, just to start off. And it also, a lot of people use makeup primers. I have had them in the past. I don't have one right now, but this also surprisingly keeps my makeup on all day. It sort of acts like a primer, I guess. Once you have your moisturizer on, then you can start off with foundation, tinted moisturizer, whatever you use. I personally like to use the Mercier tinted moisturizer, SPF 20. And I like this because it is lightweight. I really don't feel like I'm wearing makeup. I had one before that I used, I think, 2 summers ago. It was okay. I think I used a little bit too much. I didn't really know how tinted moisturizer worked because I was really swore sort of by MAC products. But I really like this. It's really lightweight. I hardly feel like I'm wearing makeup. It's great for even going out because it stays on. It gives coverage if you like a light coverage. It works well with concealers. It's a great product. What I usually do is I take a little bit on my hand like this. Usually about this much. I take my makeup brush and I like, sometimes if I'm really in a rush, I'll do circular motions on my face, but then sometimes I'll dab it sort of like a beauty blender, I guess. So I'll go like this all over my face and under my eyes. You don't want to miss that because I've seen people do that and then they look a mess. I feel like some people just wear it in their everyday and then they switch to foundations at night. I tend not to because for me, I enjoy makeup. I like doing makeup, but it takes a while and sometimes I don't have that kind of time. I feel like this is really great for women that are really busy and don't have a lot of time to do a whole entire face of makeup. I like to put it also on my eyelids because this product in particular, if you don't have a primer handy, it acts sort of like a primer. This is more of like if you're in college sort of video and you might not have all the different products at the moment. This is kind of, I guess, hacks that you can use to try to get your makeup to stay on through the whole entire day. And don't forget to do this part because a lot of people forget and their faces are orange and the rest of them is pale. So never forget to blend it out all the way. So now what I use for concealer, I use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, Caramel. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it. It's great for me personally. I have a few blemishes up here. I don't usually get too much, but this apparently, when I went and I bought this, said this is all-purpose coverage. It works for girls that do have issues with acne, and it also works if you just need dark circles. It's great, and I really like it. This is the favorite one that I've had. So I just put this underneath like this, and then right here. And some people use a brush. I have used brushes in the past, but again, it's much faster if you just use your fingers, I find, and sometimes it stays on longer. So, but it's important when you do this not to go like in circles or sort of just swipe it across your face, because it doesn't really soak into your skin. So I try to dab it like this, and the warmth from your finger also helps to absorb it into your skin. So that's done. And then just under my eyes, I like to press it into my skin. And because I know I'm Indian and Arabic, and I know for us Middle Eastern girls, dark circles and redness is particularly an issue. So that's also why I really like this one, is because ones that I've used in the past didn't really get rid of that problem. But this one is great because it covers my bags for the most part, my dark circles, all of that good stuff. And also it can act as a primer. Some products will go all over your face throughout the day, but some, if you get the right ones, can act as a primer. And this is one of them, along with the foundation. I really do like MAC products, but what I found is sometimes if you don't have powder on and you don't have a sufficient amount of powder on, the products can start to come off of your face. But it also depends on what kind of skin that you have, and there aren't streaks everywhere. I mean, you can just go like this just to make sure, but I like to make sure that it's all on. So next we're going to move on to bronzer and highlighting. I like to use the Mineralized Skin Finish Natural MAC bronzer in Sun Power. It's actually, I've had this for a long time and it lasts a while. It does come on quite strongly, so I would advise that you use, I guess, not too much, and then you blow on it to get the excess off. The brush I'm going to be using is the Bare Essentials Full Coverage Kabuki brush. Some people use this for foundation, but I tend to use it just for bronzer because it's simple, easy, and that's what I like. Simple, easy, fast. I can get out. But so I just dabbed a little bit, blew off the excess, and contour. Okay, so that's done. And then for highlighter, I had a highlighter, I don't know where it is, but I am going to be using the e.l.f. Big Bronzer. And you can also use this as a eyeshadow. It's one of those multi-purpose sort of things that you can use. You can use it as eyeshadow, bronzer. I like to use it as a highlighter. So what I do is I usually just take my finger, just put a little bit on, and then put it right here. Okay, so now that my face is pretty much done, I need to get my eyebrows done too. Now, you can move on to eyebrows. So what I use for my eyebrows, really I tend to use eyeshadows that I can use. I either use the Color Design. When I was younger, my mom would buy makeup. I really liked makeup when I was younger a lot, and we would go and she would buy products, and then we would get you know, those little packages that you also get with whatever you bought. So that's usually where I have these two brushes. I believe they were Estee Lauder, and this is also Estee Lauder too. But for my eyebrows, I use either this Estee Lauder 4 palette, and I like to use Guestless Shimmer, which is the brown right here, or this e.l.f. Flawless Eyeshadow palette, and it sort of tells you where you can put what, I guess, if you're not really sure. But the one that this said line maybe a week ago or so, but I also use this color. And it really depends. My hair was I recently dyed it sort of a burgundy color, so before, when my hair was black, I used a darker brown, but now I tend to use a little bit of a lighter brown, sort of a coffee color. I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Guestless Shimmer for my brows. And my eyebrows already have a fairly okay shape. They need to be threaded shortly, maybe the next few days. So I like to take a bit on my Estee Lauder liner brush right here. Just take a little bit and then fill in with light brush strokes. I just find that if you do it this way, I mean, it depends again on what sort of look that you're going for, but it's a much more natural sort of look and not too harsh, and that's kind of what I go for. So now that my brows are done, now we are going on to eyeshadow. I am going to use, for this sort of bronzy, goldish, natural brown, smoky eye kind of look, it's really natural every day. I am going to be using the same Estee Lauder palette that I used for my eyebrows, but I'm going to be using the color Effortless Shimmer, which is this gold color right here, which you can tell I've been using these two a lot. So I'm going to take a bit of this on my brush, and this is my Urban Decay makeup eye shadow brush. This came in the Urban Decay Naked palette. I think it was the first one that I had. Just on the lid. And don't be afraid to go sort of heavy with this, because it is such a natural sort of color. If you really want it to be seen, you might have to put a couple coats on. Also, I've heard that if you use water and then you use that to apply your eyeshadow, it shows up more. I have not tried that, but I might soon. And like I said, there's really no fallout with this. This is what the color looks like, and it's sort of shimmery, but it's not too bold, which is nice. I like it. And now I'm going to move on and use the e.l.f. Flawless Eyeshadow. So what I'll do is I will take these two, the lid and the crease, and I'll mix them together. So I'll take a little bit of this and this, and blowing on it does help with the excess if you've already done your face routine before. But if you haven't, which sometimes I really don't, because depending on the colors I'm using, I don't want the fallout, I will just do it after. But then I will sort of blend this into my crease and also try to blend it in with the gold. And I'm going to go back with a buffer brush to blend all this out. And yes, the lines are a bit harsh, but I'm going to go over that. And you can also take your finger, which I found to be really helpful if you don't have too much time, and sort of blend it out like this if the colors are a bit harsh, like they are, because I can't really see. So yes, so then there's also a lid color, but I'm not going to put that on my lid. Actually, no, it's a base color, excuse me. But I'm going to put it right here to highlight. Like this. Okay, so you can use this to sort of buff it out so it looks more natural and not too harsh. I tend to sort of do up and down motions or circular motions. So what I'll usually do is I'll take eyeshadow, a brownish eyeshadow, and I'll put it on my lash line. So I'm going to take the Flawless Eyeshadow from the e.l.f. Palette, and I'm going to use Line actually as a liner now. And I'm just going to put that underneath my lash line. And if you really do experience a lot of fallout with your eyeshadow, you can always go back in with concealer underneath. Now it is time for mascara. And of course, curl your lashes. And then I like to use the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. I've heard lots about it, and it actually is really great. It really makes your lashes longer and more voluminous. So apply a few coats, and I'm using this Estee Lauder mirror in the palette. Okay, this is a couple coats. It's usually not as many as I put on. I tend to put on a few more than this. Okay, and then now I'm going to do the bottom, which is really important. Never forget to do the bottom, because I have before, I'll put, if I'm really tired and I went to sleep late the night before, I will put mascara on one eye and out the other. I feel like we've all made that mistake once. Do you notice how every single girl, when they put on mascara, has this face? I don't know why. I guess it's like genetically programmed into us. You can now take your hair down. But okay, but so for lips, you can, it really depends. My personal favorite lipstick right now is the Satin Rebel by MAC. Very, very popular, I know. That's what I would tend to wear because I really like the burgundy sort of red colors. But if you like a nude sort of color, I really like the Maybelline Crazy for Coffee in 275. And this is also a really nice color. I'll show you what this looks like. It's nice and nude, but again, I'm going to be using the Rebel MAC. And I really like this one. It has a really creamy consistency, so I don't usually put on lip liner with it. I can, but I don't usually do it, so. I really like this lipstick, especially for the fall and the winter, and it even works in the spring. So this is the final look. Excuse my hair. You can follow me on Instagram at Toadzo, Toadzo. A lot of people get that confused. And also Twitter, Toadzo. And please comment below if you have any questions and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Bye.